Maria Espinosa may not be a name that many St. Lucians are immediately familiar with, but in international diplomatic circles, she is a known quantity. An Ecuadorian politician, Espinosa has held several portfolios: Minister of Heritage, National Defense, and most recently Minister of Foreign Affairs. Internationally, Espinosa was the president of the United Nations General Assembly during the 73rd session in 2018. She has come to the forefront once again as a candidate for Secretary General of the Organization of American States, the OAS. On Friday, Espinosa was on island as part of a Caribbean tour, and I had the opportunity to speak with her about her candidacy. What I was wondering to start us off is, how did your candidacy come about? I know that you are being supported by the governments of Antigua and Barbuda as well as St. Vincent. Did they approach you with this idea, or did you become interested and then link up with them?
No, they came to suggest that I'll be a good candidate for the OAS position of Secretary General. They have known me and they saw me perform as President of the United Nations General Assembly. They knew firsthand that I have worked hand in hand with CARICOM countries, putting at the forefront the Caribbean agenda at the UN, in the international arena, especially on issues of disasters, of climate, on financing for development, on climate finance, etc. So they identified this possibility. I understand that they tried to find a Caribbean candidate, but they saw that I could, in a way, that I have my heart in the Caribbean, that I know the Caribbean reality, and that I can contribute from the OAS to serve the people of the CARICOM.
Espinosa referenced her time as president of the UNGA to demonstrate her knowledge of and commitment to championing CARICOM issues.
In the case of the Caribbean, I have more than 25 years of professional experience, more working on the environmental front, on the development front, and I have always teamed up with CARICOM countries on international multilateral negotiations. More recently, as President of the General Assembly, I launched my world campaign against single-use plastics in Antigua. I put the CARICOM countries, the Bahamas in this case, at the forefront of negotiations of a political declaration on the Sustainable Development Goals, preparing the Oceans Conference under the leadership of Trinidad and Tobago, the issue of middle-income countries and financing for development under the leadership of Jamaica, etc. So I'm very used to using the talent, the wisdom, and the guidance from CARICOM countries.
I wondered what qualities Espinosa believes she can bring to the table that would make her best suited to be the next leader of the OAS.
I think a Secretary General of the OAS should represent the interest of the 34 member states, and should be able to build bridges, to establish a true platform for dialogue, for interaction, for consensus building, but also for handling and managing dissent. And of course, I proved that I can be an impartial bridge builder. I did that with 193 countries at the UN, and I'm sure that I can bring the same experience, the same impartiality, the same capacity to listen and to include everybody into an OAS that for sure needs refurbishing, needs to be renewed, needs to be connected to the challenges and the needs of the 21st century.
It would not be far-fetched to characterize the OAS as an organization currently embroiled in diplomatic conflict based on differing viewpoints about what to do about the rolling political, economic, and social crisis in Venezuela, even within CARICOM. I asked Espinosa how she would proceed if elected, walking into such a volatile status quo. Given that should you be elected to be the next Secretary General, you're going to be stepping into a situation that is rife with dissent. How do you propose to handle this? Are you comfortable meeting and having and holding, chairing OAS meetings with the representative from Guaido, or do you think that this was an inappropriate appointment?
I think that the case of Venezuela is a very good example of how important a Secretary General that is not an ideologue, an opinionated person, but a neutral, independent, impartial convener, how important that is. And I think that it is, we have to remind ourselves which are the governing bodies of the OAS, who takes the decisions at the OAS. It's the General Assembly and the Permanent Council of the OAS, the member states. In any multilateral system, the voice of authority and the governance and the decisions are taken by the members. No? And I think that a Secretary General should be more a secretary and less of a general.
In my next report on this subject matter, I discuss with Espinosa how she would manage the outsized influence large and rich states seem to have over the operations of multilateral organizations such as the UN and the OAS. I'm Janika Simon, reporting for Choice News Now.